This session is actually dedicated to the topic computer vision, which is one of the domains of artificial intelligence and which is being taken in class 10th of CBSE curriculum, as per the CBSE curriculum. And 2 or 3 chapters are dedicated to this topic. So when you are going to teach this topic in the classroom, why this topic has been placed in a particular area, in a particular place in the book, in the sequence, the reason is to understand this topic, the students should know some very basic things which you have already, which you will already teach the students. For example, how the data is being looked at by the computers, what are the various basic concepts of artificial intelligence, such as supervised learning, unsupervised learning, then classification, clustering, artificial neural networks. All those concepts you have already explained in the classroom. And then when you come to this point of taking up computer vision, then all that learning will come handy here, because computer vision, as we talk about, is one of the domains of artificial intelligence where we deal with images, where we deal with graphical data. And it is a bit different in that terms. In those terms, it is a bit different than processing the other type of data. So we look at that. So basically understanding what actually computer vision is. Now, when we talk about computer vision, it is that domain of artificial intelligence. As you know, there are 3 major domains of artificial intelligence: the data, computer vision, and natural language processing. So we have already seen, we have already taught our students how computers deal with data in artificial intelligence and what actually the purpose of looking at the data in particularly in artificial intelligence field. Now we come to this second domain, which is computer vision, and it basically deals with the data related with graphics, that is images, videos. Now, when we talk about images and videos, there is another term which comes across, that is called image processing. We have already, some of us might have got the experience of using the softwares like GIMP and Photoshop, which are image processing software. So there is one term, image processing, and there is another term, computer vision. So we have to basically understand how they are different and how they look alike. There is a very thin line of difference between the two. But when we talk about image processing, the input in image processing, in the process of image processing, what happens is, from one end, the input is an image and output is also an image. So basically what happens in image processing, some kind of alterations, transformations are applied on the image, and image is slightly different than the actual one which has been input. And this is what image processing is. Now, how the image which is output is different from the actual image, it depends on the purpose. Like you want to retouch the image so that it looks a little different, brighter. For example, you change the brightness of the image, you change other qualities of the image, you might convert it into grayscale, or you might change the size of the image, or you may apply certain special effects on the image. We call them filters. We might apply some filters on the images. When we click the pictures with the camera, with the mobile phone, we see so many filters are there. So we apply those effects on the image. That part is called image processing, where actually input is also an image and output is also an image. But actually what happens in computer vision, the purpose is completely different. Here, the input to the system is an image, or could be more than one images, but the output is not an image usually. Output is the data which describes that image. So here what we are dealing with is still we are dealing with the data, but data is actually converted, the data is actually in the form of an image. Now, computers do not perceive images like we do. We human beings look at the images and understand them. Suppose I'm looking at a table. So if I'm looking at a table from a particular angle or from a particular distance, or even if I after looking at the table, after some time, if I'm shown the image or the photograph of that table, I will still identify that that is the same table, or that is the table exactly. Or if I'm looking at the table from any angle, from distance, I can identify still that this is a table. But with the computers, with the machines, the things are not that easy. The things are not that instant. The machines actually try to understand the images in a very different way. First of all, the machines look at the image as a two-dimensional arrangement, height and width. And this two-dimensional arrangement is in the form of pixels, the picture element, the smallest dot, which is there in the image. So that you have to explain to the students the RGB concept, that every dot is called a pixel. There are several million, thousands of millions of pixels which together make the image. And you can think of a pixel as a dot, and which is composed of basically three colors, red, green, and blue. That's called RGB model. And various intensities of red, green, and blue actually give the color to that pixel. And when those pixels put together, they create an image. For example, if the image of a young man is shown, then the dense hair on the head, those pixels intensity will be very less, because those pixels will be looking darker, the dark color of the hair. And if that person is wearing a white shirt, then all the pixels which are representing white shirt, they will have the maximum intensity, because maximum intensity of red, green, and blue combined together makes white color. So this is how different intensities together make the color in the images. Now, if you convert this image into black and white, that is called grayscale, the image information becomes 3 times lesser. How? When computers look at an image, when they store the image, for example, any electronic device, computer or your digital camera, when they store the image in the memory, the image is split into 3 channels. You can visualize these 3 channels as transparent sheets, one for each color, red, green, blue. So all the information, all the numeric, all the numbers which are describing red color, they are arranged in a separate channel, similarly for green and then blue. And when computer has to display that image on the monitor, or computer has to put out the image, all these channels are combined together and the final image is rendered. So this is how red, green, blue channels work in a digital device. So now this is the third dimension. The number of channels is the third dimension. For an image, the first 2 dimensions are the height and the width, in which the pixels are arranged. And when you split that image into 3 separate channels, depending on the basic colors, red, green, blue, this is the third dimension, the number of channels. But when you convert the image into a grayscale image, there is only 1 channel. So a grayscale image compared to a colored image occupies lesser size in the memory. It is smaller in size. So these are the basic things which you have to explain to the students first, so that they're able to understand how computers look at the images. Now, when computer takes an image, it is converted, every pixel information is converted into a numeric form. So for a computer, that image is actually a 2 dimension of certain numbers. So like we did in data domain, there were always numbers, date, and text, etc. But for at the low level, at computer level, this all is numbers. Computers only love numbers. So here, all the images are converted into their numeric form, and that numeric form is processed by the computer. So this is how computer vision is different from image processing. Now, another aspect is, in computer vision, what happens? The computers take the image in its numeric form, and then how it is different from image processing is the purpose. The purpose of computer vision is identifying the image is the very basic purpose. So computer tries to identify whether this is an image of a person, it is an image of an animal, it is an image of a car. So in a particular context, the computer might be knowing what it is supposed to view, what it is supposed to perceive. Then there could be another requirement to classify the image, to identify what is there in the image, and then identifying, then putting it into a class. For example, identifying that in an image there is a car. So it will identify that as a vehicle, a car. There could be another requirement to identify and match the image with somebody else's image or with some other kind of image. Like you might have seen in the advertisements in media that the image is clicked by the person and then that image search happens. So that is by identifying the image. Well, so that is a basic boundary between image processing and computer vision. Then as I talked about, as I told you, what is the purpose behind computer vision? What are the applications? As I told you, image identification and object identification. So object identification is basically locating the object inside the image and identifying what this object actually is. So when we look into the computer vision techniques, when we will explore them, then we will be easily identifying what all computer vision applications are. So if you are talking about if you talk about image identification or object identification, if you focus on these two things, you can think of several image this computer vision applications in different industries, like identifying the face. That's a very basic application in your mobile phone. Face identification, the device is locking by identifying your face. So it is looking at the basic features of the face and the device identifies you that it is you. That's really very intelligent. Then object movement detection. Then there is these are autonomous vehicles like driverless vehicles. They all work on computer vision aspect. There the video is processed. Now video is split into several hundred frames and each frame is processed in such a way that the device can figure out whether this object has moved from this location to this location. And that way the distance is calculated. So this way computer vision is a very impressive application which can be used, which can be seen in different industries, education or medical or banking, wherever you can see this, like identifying the documents, identifying a particular check in the bank. So these, wherever you can think of identification of an image or identification of an object inside the image, and that field computer vision can be applied in. So this is computer vision applications. Like if you go into the books which given by us, the computer vision applications are given in much in detail. So I will not elaborate on that much here. Moving on to the techniques of computer vision. So when we talk about basic techniques of computer vision, there are basically 4 techniques. As I told you, the image classification, like computer should be able to tell whether what is this particular image is about. Is this an image of an aeroplane or a car or a dog, a cat, a fruit, a tree? What is this? Then now that depends on the context. Then localization. Localization means within the image, like I told you, object identification, within the image, identifying or locating the object in terms of pixels. Like in an image, if a car is shown, at what particular pixel location that car is present. So that a machine should be able to tell. Then we come to object detection. Object detection has much more application where videos are involved, live feed from the cameras. So object can be detected through its movement. So as the object is moving, the computer can tell that this object has moved from this point to this point, or whether it has stopped or taken a turn or out of the vision. All this can be tracked through object detection. Object detection has another aspect where we count a particular type of object in an image. Now there could be multiple cars in an image. Object detection technique tells that how many cars or how many vehicles are there in an image. And then segmentation is another technique. Segmentation helps in identifying a particular part of the image and to make it distinguishable from other parts of the image. How? The pixels of same quality, the pixels of same features, what I mean is the color and their position in the image. Those pixels are grouped together. That is called segmentation. So these basically 4 techniques actually work in computer vision field: classifying the entire image, locating a particular object in an image, counting similar type of objects or different types of objects in an image, and grouping the pixels of similar features together in an image. For example, if there is a player holding a football, now the machine should be able to segment the football separately and the player separately. So it should be able to identify that, okay, these pixels are representing football and these pixels are representing the entire player and rest of the things are background. So this way, segmentation technique is applied. Now, when we talk about computer vision techniques, now if a computer is looking at an image of a car, now how will it identify that that car is there particularly in which area or in which region of the image? Now that is the something by the help of called edge detection. Edge detection technique actually allows the computer to identify the shape of an object in an image. So when a car is shown in an image and there is some background, so if the color of the car is different from the background, then the difference between the pixels which are representing color and the difference between the pixels of the car, wherever they are meeting, that particular meeting point is called edge. So when the computer is detecting the pixel color around the car, it will come to know when the background has started and when the car is beginning by making out the difference between the intensities or sudden color change or sudden intensity change between the 2 adjacent pixels. And if it is moving in a particular direction, either vertical or horizontal, if it is moving, suppose vertical across an edge, so the pixels which are representing the edge are of the same intensity. So the computer can figure, okay, this looks like an edge. Similarly, horizontal. So when you move a detection window, when you are detecting the pixel, when the computer is detecting the pixels, wherever there is a sudden change in the intensity of the pixel, that gives a hint to the computer that this particular point could be an edge. And across that, the edges are detected in entire image. One of the algorithm is called Sobel algorithm or Sobel filter. So we will see how the filters are applied to detect the edges in the image. So Sobel filter is very popular and it is used to quickly identify edges horizontally and vertically in an image. Similarly, there is another popular filter is Purvitt filter. It can also figure out whether the image has been rotated or not. If you rotate the image, it can figure that rotated image and the actual image are same. So Purvitt filter is very useful when image orientation is in concern. And then sometimes what happens is edges are not always vertically at right angle or horizontally at right angle. They could be at diagonal also. So for diagonal edge detection, there is Robert filter, which is commonly used. So these are the filters which are used commonly in detecting the edges. Then other than edges, there are corners. Corners are always formed when 2 edges cross each other. So that crossing point actually gives the hint of a corner. So if detection of a vertical edge and a detection of a horizontal edge is happening, and during that movement, during that detection, if the sudden change in the intensity of the pixel is happening in vertical direction also and in horizontal direction also, then it gives the hint to the computer that this could be a corner. So corners are detected. These are also helpful in figuring out, in making out the shape of an object in the image. then if the computer is detecting the pixels in the image and for a longer period of duration, for a longer distance across the pixels, there is no change in intensity, or there is very less change in the intensity of the pixels, then that area is neither an edge, it cannot be a corner, it cannot be a line or a curve. It is a plane area. Such plane areas are called blobs, like a flat surface. So how this edge detection and all that helps in processing the image for computer vision, for classification of the images, for identifying the objects in the images. This is done with the help of something called convolution neural network. So we will look at this in detail now. So far what we have seen is, in this first part of the session, we have just looked at how image processing is different from computer vision, what actually computer vision is, what is the purpose or the application of computer vision, and what actually computer vision does. Computer vision identifies the objects by identifying the edges, by identifying the corners, to figure the shape of an object inside the image. And one very important thing we learned is that for us, what is an image is a set of numbers for computers. So let us see how filters actually work and how convolution neural network works. So like you see this diagram here, I'm not going to explain this diagram at this point of time. First of all, I will show you how you can take this, how you can explain the CNN concept in the classroom in a different way. What happens is, when we talk about an image which is given to a computer for computer vision purpose, for say identification of the image or identification of an object in an image, what happens is, how does the question is, how does computer actually applies this identification technique? Now that image is a set of numbers. That image is converted into a grayscale image so that it has only one plane and only two dimensions are there, height and width, and that direct dimension of pixel is given to the computer. Now what computer does is, it takes another set of numbers. That set of numbers is actually a 2D array which is very small as compared to the actual image. Actual image could there could be thousands of pixels, but that particular filter might be having hundreds of pixels. For example, here I have taken this concept to conceptualize this particular thing. Here we are assuming that this is an image of how many pixels? 6 by 6 pixels. Only 36 pixels are there. Now in these 36 pixels, there are two colors only, gray and black. Now this is a 36 pixel image, and computer has another set of numbers which is only 3 by 3, that is 9 pixels. So there is a grid of 9 numbers and there is a grid of 36 numbers over here. Now what computer does is, it takes up, first of all, the first 9 pixels like this from the very top left corner of the image. See, there are also the 9. This window which is red colored is the actual size of this particular small array. So it considers the first 9 pixels here, and what it does is, it multiplies the first pixel here with the first pixel in this small array, the second one with the second one, the third one with the third one, and then the first pixel of the second row with the first pixel of the second row in the small array, and so on. It multiplies these corresponding values, and whatever multiplications, whatever products come, they all are added together and one single number is generated. That single number is taken like this separately here, as I show you here. So if I'm processing all these numbers, all these 9 numbers here and 9 numbers here multiplied together, and their sum is taken, here it is giving me 0. After that, what happens? This window gets shifted to the next 9 pixels like this. See, a pixel shift has happened. And again, the same operation is performed now on those pixels which are now in this window. Again, this happens. It is giving me minus 36. It is kept here. And then it comes like this. And so on. So this operation is performed until the pixels in the last window like this are processed. They are multiplied with the smaller grid, and this all is taken here. Now, how do we decide this? How these numbers have to be stored? There is a technique, a very simple technique. Let's come into the beginning. This is the first window. This is the first 9 pixels. Whatever multiplication, whatever is the sum of the multiplication of these two corresponding numbers, that sum which is 0, it is always kept in the center location of the window. This center location is this. And when the window moves to the next 9 pixels, this is the center. See? When we move further, now this is the center. When we move further, this is the center. So this is how it happens. So as a result, what happens is the resultant which is coming here, the resultant grid of the numbers, it is smaller than the actual grid of the image. The actual grid was 6 by 6 and this is 4 by 4. The reason is the outermost pixels are remaining from multiplication. They are not falling in the center of the window. To let them fall into the center of the window, something like this has to be done, which is not possible. We cannot go beyond the image. So this is what we are doing. That is the reason, since the multiplication, the sum of all the multiplication should fall into the center pixel of that window. So that is why only this 4 by 4 grid will be created. So a separate grid of 4 by 4 is created, and this is the resultant. And as you see here, these numbers which are together, which are similar, they are giving the hint to the computer that this could be an edge. And as you see here in the image, there is an edge here. There is a drastic change in the intensity from black to gray. See this is an image, this is an edge. And here, this set compared with this set is just reverse of this set. So intensities are completely, it's a drastic change in the intensity. It's a drastic change in the numbers, the calculation. And that is why computer gets to know that this could be an edge. So this is the conceptual representation of edge detection. And this small array which is used to multiply over the pixels, which is used to multiply with the pixels of the actual image, this grid is called filter or kernel. It is also called filter or kernel. As I was talking about Corbel kernel or Corbel filter is there. So similarly here it is, Robert filter is there. So this is called a filter. So what you have to learn here is to process the image. Computer takes a smaller grid of some numbers, that is called a filter, and that is multiplied with each window region of the actual image. Sum of all the multiplication is taken, and then depending on that, edge detection or corner detection, this could be done. Now this process of moving the window over the pixels and multiplying the pixels one by one after a shift, this process is called convolution. That is the term, convolution neural networks or CNN. So this process is called convolution. This grid which is used for multiplication, this is called a filter or a kernel. So convolution is happened by the help of a filter. And by the sum of multiplication, we take out the feature of an image. This is called feature extraction. Feature, what is the feature of an image? The feature of an image could be color, the intensity of the pixel, basically the intensity of the pixel, the position of the pixel. So these are called features of an image. And this feature extraction is done by this technique. So the image grid, the array of the image is multiplied with the array of a filter, and through convolution, multiple times the multiplication is happened through convolution, and the resultant values are interpreted by the computer to detect whether it is an edge, corner, or a curve. And this tells the computer that what could be the proper shape emerging in an image of a car or of a fruit or a face, or the distance between the 2 points also is a feature. So there are several features which are extracted by the computer by convolution by the help of a filter. And for different purposes, there are different filters. Like in your mobile phone, you might have seen so many filters are there. When we try to beautify the image clicked by us, we try to beautify it, or we try to apply certain effects. That is done by the filters. So behind the scene, this is what happens. So this part still is the part of image processing. But since the output is not an image, the output is a set of numbers. So you can say that now we are pursuing computer vision here. The purpose is different. We are not going to get an image. We are trying to identify an image. So hence computer vision. So let us take another example to understand this. I just showed you this demo is to understand what edge detection is there, what is a filter, what is convolution. Now, when you have understood this basic thing, convolution you have understood, then we can move on to CNN basic. We understand how this you can do an activity in the classroom also like this. We are considering 2 images here. One image is X1 and the other image is X2. Now, in this image, what is happening? If you figure, both the images are showing a letter X, but one letter image X1 has a letter X, a very symmetrical figure, but X2 is not an X which is written in a very symmetrical fashion. It could be an X. So the alphabet X are shown in image X1 and X2. So what we are doing is, we are arranging both for X1 and X2, we are arranging all the pixels in a straight line. The first 6 pixels are here. After that, the second row is laid out over here, and so on. So you see this first row, these all 36 pixels are representing X1. These 36 pixels are X2. And then what we are doing, we are comparing these two. And after comparing, in the result, we are taking wherever there is 10, we are comparing both the pixels, and where there is higher intensity, we are taking it. So 10, 1, 10. 1, 10, result is 10. 10, 10, obviously 10. Wherever there is 1 and 1, we are ignoring it. We are not taking it. So the result is like this. Result is richer than the actual images. Now, when we reconstruct the result like this, now from this result, we have reconstructed this figure. See, this is the figure which is reconstructed by the result. If we take the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pixels I have taken, and they are arranged here. The next 6 pixels are arranged in the second row, and so on. So you see this particular grid, it is almost looking like an X still. So what we are trying to identify, we are trying to identify whether the second image, whether this image is X or not. Now, suppose I do not take, I assume that I will take only 10 when both the 10 are there. So I'm ignoring this 10 and 1, I'm ignoring this 1 and 10 also I'm ignoring. I'm only taking those pixels which are both 10 in X1 grid and X2 grid. So the resultant will be this. If I reconstruct, it will be like this. And still it is looking like an X, however a smaller X, but it is looking like the figure of an X. So if you look at both the figures, they are still resembling X. So this is one small activity you can ask the students to perform in the classroom or in the lab. You can guide them and they can do this, and you can come to a conclusion that both the images are looking still like X. Now we have understood what is feature extraction. We have understood how the images are compared pixel by pixel by the computer. That's the very basic technique. Now we come to the convolution neural network, where now at this moment I'm assuming that you already know what a neural network is. In neural network, at one end the input is given across several layers, that is processed, and then the output is given to the output layer. So input layer takes the input, hidden layers in between process the input in various forms, and then output is given to the output layer, which is at the other end. So similarly, convolution neural network performs the same thing by using convolution. Taking our same example here, you see this is the image of X, and it's a grid of 6 by 6. There is a filter, and when the convolution has been performed on this, the features are extracted here. Now in a convolution network, there could be several layers of for convolution, and there could be multiple filters. So one filter might be detecting the edges, another filter might be detecting the color information, yet another third filter is there which is trying to figure the corners. Another filter could be there which is trying to take out the curves in the image or the intensity of the pixels. So there are several filters, several hundred filters are there for extracting various features of the image. And in a convolution layer, there could be there are usually more than one filters, and each filter is supposed to take out a particular feature of the image. So here what is happening, you see in this example, there are 3 filters available here. 1, -1, -1, -1, 1, -1, -1, -1, 1. The various combinations of 1 and -1 are arranged in the grid of 3 by 3, 3 unique combinations. And these I'm going to use them for convolution on the actual image. So these are the various filters which are being used in the convolution layer. One by one, these filters are applied on this image. For example, if I take this filter, and I apply this on the image, you see the output and the figures have changed. If I apply this filter, I copy paste it here. See, again, the values have been changed. So different features are extracted. Different set of number is coming out. So we are applying 3 filters and different sets of numbers are coming out of it. That is called feature extraction. And these different 3 sets of numbers are shown here. This is the result after convolution. So this convolution layer has given me 3 convoluted images, 3 convoluted set of numbers which are representing different features of an image. One output could be having all the edges in the image, another output could be having all the corners in the image, yet the third one could be denoting the various intensities of the pixels in the image. So these 3 information, edges, corners, and intensities are taken out, and then these 3 will be fed into next layer, that is called ReLU layer, rectification linear unit layer. The rectification linear unit layer is taking these 3 as an input, and what it is doing is it is simply checking each of this set of numbers and converting all the negative numbers into 0 and all the positive numbers as they are. See, you compare these two. -12 is converted into 0, -30 into 0. So you see only positive numbers or 0, a set of 0 and positive numbers, they are converted into this. This is done to suppress the unnecessary features in the image. The unnecessary features in the image are removed so that a lot of computation is not gone unnecessary being done by the computers. So to scale down the processing required by the computers, this is done. All the negative values are removed and they are replaced by zeros, because multiplication with the mathematics with zeros is includes lower CPU cycles. So this is what happens just to remove the load on the computation by the computer. This ReLU layer simplifies the data set. The data set is now simplified by the ReLU layer. Now this is given to another layer that is called pooling layer. What pooling layer does here is, pooling layer again downsizes the image into its smaller form, and it becomes easier for the computers to process the image again. What happens on each set, a window is taken. That window could be 2 by 2, that window could be 3 by 3. The size of the window is decided. Here what we are doing is, out of this window, whatever is the maximum number, that is only taken out. Like here it is 15. Then we shift the window to the next number, to the next set of pixels. Here it is 6. Then we shift the window to the next set of pixels. Here it is 0. So this way, for each shift of the window, the maximum number is taken out. Now you can also decide, depending on the requirement, you can also decide whether the window will be shifted by 1 pixel or 2 pixel or 3 pixel or how many pixels. That is called stride. Stride is number of pixels you will skip while shifting the window. So here I have taken the stride as 2. See, stride is taken 2. So the first position of the window is here like this. It is giving me 15 over here. And then I'm not shifting the window by 1 pixel, but 2 pixels. 2 pixels after this, I'm getting 0 here. Again, if I shift it down, it will be by 2 pixels. And if I begin from here, I take maximum value out of these pixels 0. Next shift of the window. Now out these pixels under the window, they are giving me 24. And the same process is applied on the other grids of the features, grids of the numbers. So here it is, and this is what you get. So as you see, because of pooling layer, the image is again downsized further. And then all these features are arranged in a row in a straight sequence like this. And this straight sequence is called fully connected layer. In fully connected layer, every value of the pixel is given a particular probability. And depending on that probability, computer tries to predict whether this is a car, this is an animal, or this is a fruit. So this is how, using Excel, you can demonstrate how a CNN actually works. The mechanism, I have set all the formula here. So you can simply take the filter and copy paste it here, and you will get these values. And you can demonstrate this in the classroom by the help of this Excel sheet. So it is, at least a student will, instead of looking theoretically in the book, the students will be able to see happening at least simulated on the screen and being explained by you. So they will get it, they will understand the concept easily. So this is what I actually explained to you. The image at one end is the input to the convolution layer. Feature extractions happen by convolving the image with the help of a filter. And then it is given to the rectified linear unit layer, where it eliminates. It is called an activation function. It eliminates all the negative values, converting them to 0. Positive remain as they are. Then that output is given to that input is given to the pooling layer. Pooling layer removes unnecessary features by max pooling or average pooling. Average pooling mein, what happens is, in the window, instead of taking the maximum value, all the values are added and their average is taken. So it could be max pooling or it could be average pooling that happens in pooling layer. And the image is further scaled down into a very small image, which is containing the exact feature which is there. One exact feature would be the edge, one exact feature would be the curve or a corner. So all those exact features are taken out of the images, and then they are arranged together in a straight vector that vector is called fully connected vector, and that is called fully connected layer. And each pixel is representing a particular feature of the image, and each pixel is given a weightage for prediction. And by analyzing those values of the computer tries to predict whether this image fits into the class of a cat, into the class of a car, into the class of an aeroplane, or whatever it is. So this is how conceptually a CNN works. To involve the students into an interesting activity, you can play this filter game where you can show that, okay, there are certain shapes, there are certain images of different type of images. See, over 7 images are here: circle, heart, various stars, 3D images also there, cube, and a rectangle. And these are the filters. You are filtering them on the basis of color, number of sides, number of arms, is the image 3D or not, number of planes in the image, number of notches. So when you consider these filters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, actually these are the features of the image. If you talk about color, blue, pink, green, whatever, number of sides, circle has no number of sides, heart has no number of sides, number of arms, a 5-star has 5 arms, heart and circle do not have arms. Fine. Similarly, other features are there. Now these features will be extracted by the students by the help of filters. So how do we do that? I go back to the sheet here. See, this is the grid I have made. Now this is the training data. By the help of this data, we are training the students, we are training the machines. The students are representing the computer. So the training is done. We are able to identify the color, number of sides, number of arms. Is it 3D? Only this cube is the 3D. Number of planes, number of notches. Notches means khanch. Notches, heart में एक notch है, 5-star में 5. In this 8-armed star has 8 notches, and so on. This cube and rectangle or square or circle do not have notch. So these are the various features, and these numbers are actually representing. You can even give the numbers to the colors. So these are the numbers, and these numbers are actually describing the image. So first, hidden layer. In the first layer, we are putting 2 filters. I told you that every layer has certain filters. So in first layer, we have taken out 2 filters, is 3D and color. On the basis of whether it is 3D or not, we are grouping the images. So the students can, some of the students can play the role of a filter, 3D filter. Another student can play the role of the color filter. Yet another student can play, so each student can play the role of a particular filter. And according to that, they can classify the images in the groups like this. See, number of arms. They do not have any number of arms. These have number of arms. Number of notches. So this classification is done. There are 4 hidden layers. Number of planes is the last filter. And accordingly, the grouping has been done. Now, this is the training. The training of the CNN has been done. What next is required? The testing. The testing of the CNN is being done by this shape. You see here on the right-hand side, this one, we are going to test our logic by the help of this shape. This shape is a star, 5-sided star, 5-sided star is here. But this has black color, which is not here. There is no figure which is black, but still the CNN should be able to identify it by the help of other features. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 features are there. Out of these 6 features, one of the features is missing. So the CNN should be able to, the student should be able to identify, should be able to classify the image as a 5-armed star. So what they will do, you will ask them one by one, start putting the filter on this. Is this star a 3D? No. A separate classification. Is this star blue colored? No. Is this star has how many number of arms? 5. So which category does it fall in? So this way, just by applying this particular filter, because there is no other image which is falling in the category of 5 for number of arms. So number of arms uniquely are applying to this 5-armed star. So only by third filter you can predict that, okay, this is a 5-armed star. And it is not of green color, it is of different color. So this way, You can give them a feel, you can give them the feel of the concept, the understanding of the concept, how filters work, and what is feature extraction. Thank you once again, all of you, so much. Stay with us. Thank you, all of you. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.